As announced by the Chief Minister of Manipur, the process of dismantling bunkers in the state has begun. Security forces joined by paramilitary forces have been given the task of dismantling these bunkers. They are more like rudimentary structure using sandbags and tins. These were structures which were being used by villagers to protect the villages, they said. Mostly these bunkers can be seen in the hills as well as in the foothills as well, where you see the Imphal Valley really meeting the hills. This is the area which has been an area of a lot of concern. A lot of clashes have happened there. A zone was created here, a buffer zone, so to say, to keep the people from from coming to the Imphal Valley and vice versa. And both the army as well as Central Armed Forces and the paramilitary forces were deployed here in the buffer zone. But on both sides, these rudimentary structures or these bunkers were being utilized by civilians. They've also looted a lot of guns. Still, about 4,000 is the number doing the rounds, even though a lot of guns have been surrendered. The civilians do have arms and ammunition, and high quality arms and ammunition. And that is was being used to fire upon the other side from these bunkers. Manipur Chief Minister has announced that the bunkers will be dismantled, but this has met with a lot of protest. It has been made clear by the tribal groups to the armed forces that they are not in favor of the dismantling of the bunkers since they do not feel secure. Mostly the protest against the dismantling order is coming from the hillsides, again tribal dominated. What they are saying is that they are not very sure whether their security will be ensured if the civilians who are guarding, quote unquote, guarding the villages lose their cover of the bunkers. The armed forces have tried to assure them, but so far, because the cycle of violence is continuing, even as early as 24 hours ago, there was violence. At least one person lost his life. Also, the NH2, National Highway 2, which was announced by the Kuki groups that they're going to lift the blockade and allow movement of goods through this convoy because the Home Minister so desired and they were in favor of peace. So at least one spokesperson of the Kuki organization which announced that the blockade will be lifted, he saw his premises getting burnt, and that is what really tells you about the mood as far as the Kuki groups are concerned. They are in no mood to ensure that their demand, there is any climb back from their demand. And what are their demands? They have been saying that the security forces, the administration of N. Biren Singh is not doing justice to them. That allegation of bias stands, and that's why the blockade of NH2. The bunkers also being brought in because they feel that while the Metis have the protection, the Kukis have been left to fend for themselves. Such allegations have come in from both sides, but the Kuki groups are up in arms. They're refusing to let go of the bunkers. Security forces say that July 5th to 15th, the 10-day deadline has been given to the armed forces to take down these bunkers. They're also trying their best to ensure that the arms and ammunitions that have been looted, those are given back. Once that happens, that will be a massive confidence building measure. There are also attempts to ensure normalcy, open schools and colleges, and these attempts are being made by the Manipur administration. But the cycle of violence, the cycle of death, destruction, arson that is going on is just not giving the common Manipuri the confidence that normalcy, even in the state of limping back, is something that is on the horizon anytime soon.